This video is part of a series that is designed to support the Audible version of deploying Microsoft Dynamics 365 Sales and Service, which is available on both Audible and Amazon.com. I'll be sure to include links to all versions of the book in the description of this video. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching. As we mentioned in the book, business rules can be used to hide and show fields on a form instead of using JavaScript, as we used to, before business rules were introduced into Microsoft Dynamics 365. In this video, we will demonstrate how to use a business rule to conditionally show or hide fields on a form. What you see here is an account form for an organization by the name of Amber. There are three fields. There's organization type, which is either for-profit or non-profit. And then under for-profit types, there is Corp, LLC, and sole proprietor. And for nonprofit, there are 501c1, 2, and 3. So the business has told us that they would prefer if these fields appeared conditionally based on the first choice, which would be for-profit or nonprofit. So we have these three option sets. Best practice in this particular case to solve this request from the business side is to first hide the second and the third field. So for instance, these two fields, for-profit type and non-profit type, should be hidden. They should be invisible to begin with. So we go into our customization, we click Change Properties, for-profit type, and we deselect Visible by default. And we do the same thing for non-profit type. Then we save, and then we publish the form. The next thing we're going to do right in the customization panel, and we'll make this a little bigger to make it easier to see, is to create the business rule. On the form, click Business Rules, and then click New Business Rule. What you get when you click that is you get a canvas to design your business rule on. It's a visual canvas. The first thing is condition. We know what the condition is going to be, and we know that the second and third fields are already invisible, so they're not visible at the moment. So we're going to first check the org type. That's the display name for our condition. Check the org type. Entity is organization. Remember, in this environment, we've changed the name from account to organization. And then we just go to the field. So we know the field is named organization type. So the question is, organization type equals one or the other. So we're going to say for profit. So if it equals for profit, do something. So I'm going to click apply. That's important that you click apply before you do anything else. So the condition is if the value is for profit, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to set the visibility of one of the fields. So let's set the visibility of the for profit. I'm going to show it. Field for profit type, visible, yes, apply that. The next thing we're going to do is a second condition. So we're going to drop another condition in here. If this is false, we're going to check the condition, and the condition is going to be check for nonprofit. So if the organization type equals nonprofit, what are we going to do? We're going to set the visibility of the nonprofit field. So here we'll say show nonprofit. We'll find that field. Nonprofit type, and we're going to show that. Now, this will work just fine, but there's something to be considered here, is that the way that sort of people play around with forms, while it's true that we've started out these fields as being invisible, when they turn visible, there needs to be something to explicitly make them visible again in case somebody changes their mind, because that really does happen. So we've done what we need to do, and now what we need to do in addition to each one of these is make the other invisible. So we're absolutely sure. And while we're at it, we'll clear the field. So set visibility. Now we're going to hide nonprofit. Nonprofit type is explicitly invisible again. We apply that. And while we're at it, we also need to clear that field because we don't want a lingering value in the database. So we're going to go ahead and set the field value as well, and we're going to clear that nonprofit type. Just in case somebody has changed their mind, we don't want confusing data in the system. So we want to make sure that we take the trouble of clearing this field, nonprofit. And it's not value, it's simply clear. So that clears the field. We apply that. And then, of course, we need to do the same actions over here on the for-profit. So the first thing is set that visibility. And we will hide the for-profit. For-profit type. Hide it. It's no longer visible. Apply that before you go to the next. And then we set the field value. And we're going to clear for-profit type. For-profit type, the value is simply clear. Click apply. Okay, now we have a pretty rock-solid, bulletproof business rule. So click save. You'll notice one thing, you can scope this. So this is just on the account form. You can put this on all account forms if you want to. This is the main one. But I'm just going to stick with the current scope, and I'm going to activate this business rule, which is the next step, and then we're going to test it. Activate. And now we'll proceed to test this. Okay, we're back at the form, and really what you have to do when you do something like this is a Control F5 to do a deep refresh. Just best practice, seems to work better. So we bring this back up again, and now what we should see is we should see only organization type. And we do. We don't see those other two fields because, after all, we set them a certain way. So now we're going to go ahead and click for-profit, and the for-profit appears. And we get to choose for-profit, whether it's an LLC or not, and then we can save the record. And now we'll switch this to nonprofit. For-profit disappears and is probably cleared, and nonprofit, we get to choose C1, 2, or 3, and we can save the record. Now let's just check and make sure that for-profit was indeed cleared. So let's just change our minds again and go to for-profit, and yes, it's cleared. You need to do that because if you don't do that, it'll just hide the field and it won't clear it if people change their mind, and you'll get conflicting information in the database. That's how you use a business rule to hide and show fields conditionally on a form, which is what we used to do with JavaScript. You no longer have to do that. Hope that helps. Thank you.